Let's talk about the cabinet expansion today. As far as the oath-taking ceremony now taking place, we are getting pictures already after a series of meetings that happened in Bengaluru, and the focus thereafter, which shifted to the national capital. The pictures that are now coming in of the oath-taking ceremony, you can see right in the middle is the governor of the state of Karnataka. To his right is Chief Minister Siddharamaiah, and to his left now is DK Shrivakumar. As one after the other, now the oath-taking ceremony that is now expected, around 24 of them will now take oath. Those are the live pictures coming in.
ಕಾನೂನಿನ ಮೂಲಕ ಸ್ಥಾಪಿತವಾದ ಭಾರತ ಸಂವಿಧಾನ ವಿಷಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಜವಾದ ಶ್ರದ್ಧೆ ಮತ್ತು ನಿಷ್ಠೆಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರುತ್ತೇನೆಂದು ನಾನು ಭಾರತದ ಸಾರ್ವಭೌಮತ್ವವನ್ನು ಮತ್ತು ಅಖಂಡತೆಯನ್ನು ಎತ್ತಿ ಹಿಡಿಯುತ್ತೇನೆಂದು ಮತ್ತು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಮಂತ್ರಿಯಾಗಿ ನನ್ನ ಕರ್ತವ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಶ್ರದ್ಧಾಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ಮತ್ತು ಅಂತಃಕರಣಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ನಿರ್ವಹಿಸುತ್ತೇನೆಂದು ಭಯ ಅಥವಾ ಪಕ್ಷಪಾತವಿಲ್ಲದೆ ರಾಗದ್ವೇಷವಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಗೆಯ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಸಂವಿಧಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಮತ್ತು ಕಾನೂನಿಗೆ ಅನುಸಾರವಾಗಿ ನ್ಯಾಯವಾದದ್ದನ್ನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೇನೆಂದು ದೇವರ ಹೆಸರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೇನೆ, ಶ್ರದ್ಧಾಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ದೃಢೀಕರಣ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೇನೆ. ನಾನು ಎಚ್ ಕೆ ಪಾಟೀಲ್ ಎಂಬ ಹೆಸರನ್ನ ನಾನು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಮಂತ್ರಿಯಾಗಿ ನನ್ನ ಪರ್ಯಾಲೋಚನೆಗೆ ತರಲಾಗುವ ಅಥವಾ ನನಗೆ ತಿಳಿದು ಬರುವ ಯಾವುದೇ ವಿಷಯವನ್ನು ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಮಂತ್ರಿಯಾಗಿ ನನ್ನ ಕರ್ತವ್ಯಗಳ ಯುಕ್ತ ನಿರ್ವಹಣೆಗೆ ಅಗತ್ಯವಾಗಬಹುದಾದ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲದೆ ಅನ್ಯಥಾ ಯಾರೇ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳಿಗೆ
of ministers including H.K. Patil and Sharan Prakash Patil, Sivanand Patil, S.S. Mallikarjuna, besides others as well as N.S. Bose Raju, who is the lone MLC. We are told that many of them that will be taking oath today. Rajagopalan sir, the oath-taking ceremony that has already begun, but addressing all of the issues, especially internally, the Congress party has been trying to tackle with. What do you believe would be the next big challenge for Siddaramaiah?
Next big challenge, Mr. Siddharamaiah has already shifted the goalpost to next month. The way in which Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi have campaigned on the very first day of the cabinet, that is first day after swearing in, we will come out with 5-point agreements, 5 credit cards. But why Mr. Siddharamaiah has postponed it by a week? My understanding is there is a financial problem faced by Mr. Siddharamaiah and the internal politics within the Congress, outside the Congress, Shrivakumar's pressure on Siddharamaiah, and moreover, as you exactly put it, this those who have been left out, they will be creating a lot of commotions and nuisance for the government. My understanding is Siddaramaiah will fail because he has not fulfilled the promise. As Hari Prasad has been omitted, he is also going to create a problem because Hari Prasad was much darling to Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi, but he is opposed to Mallikarjuna Kharge and Siddaramaiah. Therefore, internal politics have started to play within the ministry formation. And second thing, my understanding that Siddaramaiah government may not have that, it will be a lame duck government from the day one. It has no authority.
Well, let's talk about the priorities here. Mr. Shyamprasad Mekkaji, do you believe that the final list by the Congress party that has been given a nod by the High Command on the cabinet expansion, what was the importance of the priority? I mean, was it reaching out and having an equitable balance when it comes to the Lingaites, the Vokaligas, the scheduled castes, the scheduled tribes, the Muslim community, the Brahmin community? Or is it more when it comes to the individual capability to carry out their duties?
No, I think this is more of an exercise for striking regional balance as well as various representation to various social communities. Right? So that's not an easy exercise. And I think they did a good job. Yeah, the doomsday prophets can go and say, continue to speculate on what will happen tomorrow, who will create trouble and all that. But instead of that, they came out with the full list, and just in 2 shots, and are done with this and going to focus on giving a better administration and better governance to the state of Karnataka.
Well, hoping that because the people of Karnataka long has been waiting, isn't it, Mr. Sriram? Because you were mentioning as far as the comments that also came in from MB Patil, they have been controversial enough also to talk about whether or not there have been a formula that the Congress party has come up with when it comes to the Chief Minister and his position. How long will he continue as the CM?
See, there is a lack of transparency, a lot of opaqueness is there, because what transpired between Siddaramaiah and DK Shrivakumar and Rahul Gandhi or Mallikarjun Kharge is not known to any one of us. We are only speculating based on statements coming out from different sources. And I also would like to ask, because the emphasis was on the day one of the cabinet meeting, the 5 guarantees will be implemented, is what Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi and Mallikarjun Kharge have been mentioned. But right now, it looks like they are not in a position to implement them. There is already speculation in newspaper articles today that there is going to be 15% hike in property taxes. And these are things which are going to happen. And I think the government has promised a lot of things which they may not be able to implement, which will ensure that anti-incumbency will kick in faster, and 2024 Lok Sabha, I think, would be returned to 2019 Lok Sabha, where NDA swept 26 out of the 28 seats in Karnataka. I think we are looking at a situation like that.
Well, that has been a similar statement coming from the BJP as well. Shekhar Iyer, do you believe that a balance when it comes to also caste and regional matrices that has now been reached, as the cabinet strength will be at its full mark now, 34?
In fact, the fact that all the seats have been, vacancies have been filled, it's also a message to the party as well as to the MLAs. No new change will happen now, at least for the next 2.5 years. So till this gets over, there is not going to be any scope for new entries. Of course, they have tried to balance the regions and communities and things like that, and also the factions, DK's faction, Siddaramaiah faction. But more importantly is, I think, the promises that are the big challenge, and where will they? Because, the talk about raising property tax rates, in fact, the BJP government lowered the tax rates to ensure, otherwise the real estate will go into limbo. We just saw the registration did not take place in the last...
Where also what is now being said that there are 9 first-timers, including 1 woman who has finally made it to Siddaramaiah-less ministry cabinet. So, Mr. Rajagopalan, sir, as you were mentioning of no woman minister that has been inducted, we are looking at some sort of a change there. But we will be talking about that and more, requesting all of our guests to continue with us, to be with us at top or noon. We will continue with the debate because the ceremony that is still taking place on the oath of the new ministers, that is still underway in Karnataka. Back after a short. So we'll continue with our discussion that is currently taking place as far as the oath-taking ceremony of new ministers, as far as reaching an equitable distribution, and even when it comes to gender, balance. Mr. Rajagopalan, sir, would you want to mention on that? Because here, balancing terms in terms of caste and communities now, even in gender.
On the very first day you and me were in the show, I said that there is no women representation a week ago. Today I am disappointed. Out of 34, you have only 1 woman. Shame on मैं लड़की हो लड़ सकती हूँ करके Priyanka Gandhi बोल रही थी. Where is that voice now? And second thing, Sonia Gandhi said 33% women reservation in parliament. What happened to? 33% should have been given in the ministry. Siddaramaiah has miserably failed, and Shrivakumar has miserably failed to accommodate more women. My understanding is, Amrita, the fiscal policy and the bureaucracy policy are going to be very crucial for Siddaramaiah. Bureaucracy policy, is he going to have a topsy-turvy of all IAS, IPS from tomorrow onwards? You can see the large amount of transfers and postings, promotions and demotions. And second thing, what is going to be the fiscal policy of Mr. Siddharamaiah? These things have not been included because they are fighting among themselves. The state is suffering for the last 1 week. There is no direction to the state officials and files are pending. I learned that there are 350 files in Chief Minister's Secretariat. Apart from that, vote on account. How are you going to manage? Just now Sriram said about the increase in property tax. Is it not mentioned in the manifesto? Why are you increasing it? That means financial position is very weak for the Siddaramaiah government. It is going to be a challenge. there are three policies. One, fiscal policy. Then the fiscal policy have to be brought out, and then personnel policy. What is that personnel policy? Whenever a new government assumes office, the babudam, the bureaucracy have to be taken into confidence. Here, my understanding is that most of the officers are against Siddaramaiah and Shrivakumar. Most of them have raided them, therefore, things are going to be very difficult.
Well, if these are the immediate challenges and the issues that Siddaramaiah needs to address, however, Mr. Rajagopalan also mentioned Mr. Shyamprasad Mukherjee when it comes to the internal changes that has now been made. Now, the BJP is already raising the Karnataka government's latest order when it comes to withdrawing the appointment over Praveen Nettaru's wife, sir. Why did that happen?
I think that's part of the routine exercise that happened, and I'm sure if somebody points that out, a suitable position may be reconsidered to her on humanitarian grounds, rather than that painting it as if somebody targeted and did that for her. No, I don't think so. This is the routine exercise that happens, and probably she unfortunately is caught in the middle.
Do you believe that the new government will change that order? I mean, the withdrawal will be taken back?
No, withdrawal will go ahead, but the affected person, Praveen Nettaru's wife, might be accommodated somewhere if it is brought to the notice of the folks.
All right, because that seems that the BJP is taking that up because Shekhar Iyer, what has now been said over the latest, following a request that she was given the position of the Assistant and Chief Minister's Relief Fund section of the Deputy Commissioner's office in Mangaluru. However, with the change in government there, Shekhar Iyer, we are told that her order has now been withdrawn and she may lose her job.
Yeah, but I think they are even going to start a process of identifying whom they consider to be RSS linked people in the bureaucracy. And you saw in the first meeting with the police officials, D.K. Shrivakumar and Chief Minister said that do not wear any saffron color in your work. In a sense, warning all these officials, whom they suspect of having links with the RSS, or so there is bound to be a witch hunt. That's what I'm rather concerned, because this is going to affect the morale of the government also, because once you start, picking up people and saying that you are RSS, you are this or that, that is going to also lead to questions about the functioning of the government. Whenever there is a change of government, of course, the Chief Minister is prerogative to choose his team. But then to, hunt down people on the basis of hearsay or complaint following belongs to this group or that group, that will lower the morale of the workforce, particularly the administration.
Because such kind of developments that are also coming to light and also highlighting, especially when it comes to the current regime and how they are exactly going to manage the new government in the state. Because Sriram sir, if you want to really talk about the current situation, as we're not mentioning one or two, even not just B.K. Hariprasad as well, there have been other leaders as well. The Karnataka Congress MLA Rudrappa Lamani supporters also holding a protest demanding a ministerial position, because they have been saying that he gave 75% of the vote to the Congress party, and that has been his contribution to the elections for the Congress party to come back to power.
So certainly, that's what I'm saying. There will be pressure from all the sides, all the directions, because there are a lot of disgruntled MLAs and MLCs particularly, because you have got only one MLC, if I'm right, who has been given a cabinet berth. So as a result of which, there is going to be a lot of disgruntled elements, and already it's a very divided house, because Congress was always a divided house in Karnataka. The only thing which kept them together, the glue, was the access to power. And once they came to power, now everything will be out in the open. What we are seeing in Rajasthan, probably we will start seeing in the next few months at Karnataka, because I think they gave a lot of false promises, because they wanted to have access to power, because I'm repeating it again and again and again. Karnataka is a very important state in the scheme of things for the Congress. Congress would be using Karnataka state as its ATM to fund its 2024 campaign. Simple. And that is the reason why they have brought a truce together, Siddaramaiah and D.K. Shrivakumar. But how long it is going to last?
Apologies, sir, for cutting you short. I'm being